Bristol is a small town in central New Hampshire. Tourists and their expendable funds provide the economic engine reviving the local economy. Bristol has revitalized the central square with grant funds. Here, volunteer organizations are beautifying the corners with seasonal flower beds. Cyclists and visitors are now beginning to frequent the town shops, enterprise centers, library, and recreation areas. Bristol has been successful in obtaining safe routes to school grants and is implementing these footpaths for its residents and their school children, with local citizens embracing the healthier, more active lifestyle of walking and cycling. Culverts and drainage ditches with drop-offs of up to 20 inches create an extremely dangerous condition for vehicles and cyclists alike. The prime examples of these hazards are located by the fire station, the town office, and the police station. A new roadbed with elevated drainage ditches on State Route 3A would greatly improve safe passage for all types of traffic. On the positive side, Bristol was one of the first municipalities to create a town-funded municipal bike path using a combination of off-road pathway and the wide shoulder on part of Route 3A. Our hope is to extend the bike path into downtown Bristol and eventually connect further south into the Franklin area. With continued cooperation between the New Hampshire Department of Transportation and the town administration, Bristol will achieve safe routes for all vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians throughout the town and on its main roads. Bristol's community bike path presently ends at the narrow red-listed 21-foot wide bridge over the Newfound River and the popular recreational area for visitors and residents along Shore Road. This state red-listed bridge is a huge congestion spot, supporting vehicular, pedestrian, and bicycle traffic from multiple directions as they traverse east and west along the southern shore of Newfound Lake. Towed boats, logging trucks, and commercial vehicles cross the center line as they traverse the bridge. When vehicles approach each other from opposite directions, one driver yields to the other, while pedestrians and cyclists yield to all vehicles in this situation. In high traffic times, this causes traffic backups on West Shore Road on both sides of the bridge. These backups force cyclists and pedestrians to use unpaved and uneven shoulders. For the pedestrians, especially parents pushing baby strollers, the extremely narrow footpath on the bridge is broken. The curb has no ramp access for strollers, bikes, or wheelchairs. Strollers have bounced off the broken curb into oncoming traffic. This dangerous condition requires traffic to make an abrupt stop to avoid a collision. We fear that without necessary updates to this bridge, a life-threatening incident is only a matter of time. Shore Road is a one-way road starting at the four-way intersection on the east side of the bridge. Many pedestrians and cyclists come from Shore Road to use the bridge to continue their travel along West Shore Road. Cars turning off the bridge onto Shore Road yield to oncoming traffic, holding up heavy traffic on the bridge, potentially exceeding the load limit of the bridge while further increasing the congestion. Marathon and triathlon competitors use this and the other bridges over the tributary rivers into Newfound Lake. Each of the bridges are too narrow for modern wide-body vehicles. The bridges over the Fowler and Cockermouth rivers are also red-listed. They lack pedestrian footpaths and bike lanes. Runners and cyclists use the traffic lanes, creating a hazard both to themselves and the vehicles at these river crossing points. Bristol and the towns surrounding Newfound Lake want to promote and preserve this region for residents and visitors. This jewel of New Hampshire needs safe passageways for pedestrians, athletes, recreational users, and vehicles. Widening this bridge over Newfound River or providing a separate pedestrian and cyclist bridge will remove its red listing and promote a safe passage for all users. Wellington State Park is the largest revenue-producing non-coastal park in New Hampshire. The town of Bristol and the western shore of Newfound Lake is home to this beautiful park. Wellington provides the only free boat ramp on the lake. It offers access to the lake for thousands of residents and visitors from around the world. Athletic events use the roadways around Newfound Lake for road races, triathlons, and bike races, adding to the use of the Wellington parking lot. In the winter months, ice fishing bob houses, snowmobiles, and ice boats access the lake from the Wellington ramps. West Shore Road is the longest leg of the three-section State Bike Route 403. It is very narrow along its entire length, especially by the ledges in Alexandria. This section of West Shore is directly adjacent to the steep cliffs of Bear Mountain. We propose road lane markings called a suggestion lane. The suggestion lane markings establish pedestrian and cyclist lanes on either side of the road, while the low-volume vehicular traffic is guided to the center lane. When two vehicles need to pass, the road markings permit the vehicles to encroach into the pedestrian and bike space so that passing is achieved at a lower and safer speed. In addition to upgrading the road, the guardrails are old, worn, and in need of replacement. The condition of these guardrails will not prevent a vehicle from a potentially dangerous slide into the 90-foot depths of the cliffs. The southern section of West Shore Road is very heavily traveled by vehicles accessing Wellington State Park, the Bristol town beaches, and Cardigan Mountain. This road is very narrow as it winds through residential sections with its 22-foot width and little to no shoulders. Wider shoulders will better accommodate the entry of boats at the commercial boat ramp as they back into the marina launch area to enter Newfound Lake. There are tight spots on this section of West Shore Road, each of which could accommodate 28-foot roadbed with 10-foot traffic lanes and 2 4-foot lanes for pedestrians and cyclists. Pedestrians, runners, and cyclists use this heavily trafficked road. Families with strollers use the paved traffic lanes because there are no shoulders. Baby strollers do not roll forward in sand and gravel. They are placing themselves and their children at risk while making it hazardous for the motor vehicle operators. Drainage culverts need to be made safer and the roadbed moved to provide safe passage in both directions along West Shore Road. The roadbed on West Shore Road is very narrow, 21 to 22 feet, with little to no shoulders. Despite the tight sections of the road, a uniform 28-foot roadbed incorporating 4-foot shoulders on each side can be built to make use of these unused shoulders. Some recentering of the roadbed will be necessary to evenly allocate the unused shoulder width to each traffic lane. Pedestrian crossings and wider shoulders would provide safer road crossings for the boys of the Mayu Project and all the pedestrians, cyclists, private and commercial vehicles using West Shore Road. It is the hope of Newfound Pathways that West Shore Road will rise from its broken condition with its scheduled Department of Transportation repaving in 2017.